I had leftover grilled chicken and deviled eggs from yesterday, and then I made bacon for breakfast, and that could only mean a Cobb salad. I like to bring my eggs to a rolling boil, then turn off the heat and leave them to finish cooking in the hot water for about 12 minutes. Fresh eggs are notoriously hard to peel, but I find that if I drain the hot water, then give them a vigorous shake in the pan, followed by a soak in some icy cold water, the shells just peel right off. I think the secret is to let the water get between the membrane and the egg white. Now today I felt like making some homemade mayonnaise, especially since I use similar ingredients in my deviled eggs. I start by adding a cup of neutrally flavored oil like sunflower or avocado into a wide-mouthed pint jar. And then I add a whole fresh egg, about a tablespoon of honey from my bees, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar or even lemon juice. Then I add about a half a teaspoon each of pink Himalayan salt and Dijon mustard. Next, I place my immersion blender at the bottom of the jar. Then I turn it on and slowly pull it up and gently mix it up and down. It's very important not to pull the blender all the way out or it can make a big mess. Now for my eggs, I slice them in half, and to the yolks I add the same ingredients, roughly equal amounts of each, plus some of the mayo, tasting along the way to get it right where I want it. Sometimes I want it a little sweeter, other times a little tangy, depending on my mood. I like to start on the lighter side of the ingredients and just add more as I need. Every once in a while, I get fancy and use a piping bag to fill the egg whites, but more often than not, I just use a little cookie scoop. Now, when I'm grilling chicken with the skin on, I like to char it up over high heat first, and then cook them over indirect heat and flip them often. I rarely use a thermometer, but you can check just to make sure that it reaches about 165 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I prefer to use thick cut bacon, and I bake it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until it's done, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. I use freshly shredded cheddar, and that really makes a big difference over its bagged counterpart. Then I assemble everything in some artistic pattern. We eat with our eyes first, you know. And my go-to dressing, honey lemon vinaigrette. I add roughly equal amounts of lemon juice, Dijon, my sweet honey, and extra virgin olive oil. Then I add a little Herbamare seasoning salt, which is packed full of herbs and spices, very heavy on the celery salt. Then I add freshly cracked pepper and shake it up. It doesn't get much better than this.